We're here. Noodle, Sean. Noodle some more. Keep noodling. Sorry we were a little late, boys.
That's why you get this wonderful out-of-tune sound.
They're always something. Citizens of Melee wants the minutes from last week. Did we have any controversial things last week? I don't think you missed it.
Nothing controversial. More like, what did we talk about? We talked about all kinds of fun stuff. Guitars, offsets, jazz masters, humbuckers, pickup height.
Where'd your slide go?
My slide? My slid?
Let me hold your slide. Okay. So I like the old slide.
Yeah.
I try to be mediocre at it. You're learning the old slide.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone, but Baxter's right over there. It's a lie. He could be, he could not be. You'll never know.
You'll never know.
Why are slides so addictive? Because I'm telling you, I could open a little slide boutique shop with all the bullshit slides that I have like sitting on my desk. And I only ever use the same one, or the same two really. But there is an Italian slide maker called Star Singer Slides. And they look so fucking cool. And they're I know,
this is
you
about
can
to
kick
get
me in
bad,
the dick later.
dude.
I know it's bad. And I was like, man, I really want one. And the man stamped some of this little thing. And there's all these great, and Instagram has me in the algorithm like squarely in its crosshairs. And I really want to order one. And I've almost ordered one like 10 times, but I'm like, nah, that's stupid. That's dumb. But then today, there's this guy I follow on Instagram named Raymond Reddington, who's like a songwriter. Cool dude.
Yeah.
And he's playing this thing with a jazz master, and it's a really neat. I was like, man, that's a great slide tone. And then I look, and it's got the little crackle finish, and I was like, damn it, that is a Star. And I asked him, is that a Star Singer slide? He's like, man, it's the best slide I've ever honed. And I was like, got me. I still haven't ordered one.
Turns out, Johnny's gonna have to get one now. The world of boutique
And I just wondered,
guitar accessories. I have. You gave me a mag slide. Got a couple of ceramic slides. This is the only brass slide I have. No, I got
a bunch of slides. I really do. One day, I bought them all one day. We were gonna do a slide thing, and we were like, no, that's dumb. It's boring. So we never did it. But
well, for somebody who only in the last maybe year has like really dedicated to slide, like a portion of it, the most slide that I've played has come from me just carrying this thing around all the time. If I have it on me, I pull it out.
That's what you got to do.
If I don't have it, I'm not gonna use it.
Somebody came in the store the other day. It might be Randy, and it was like, "Yo, I always see you with a slide." I was like, "Well, I don't know if I always have some, but I do always carry mine in my pocket."
I mean, I think I got that from you. I was like, well, if I carry it, maybe I'll pick it up more, and I do.
Glass is tricky for that, right? Because if you put the glass under your pocket,
yeah, or ceramic, yeah.
Well, it gets, but I do sometimes. I did get that ceramic,
from Rock Slide.
Yeah, Rock Slide. He showed me how to use it the right way.
It was one of those backyard deals. He snuck
doing
us out back.
You're doing it wrong, son.
Come here.
That's what he tells Sean. But anyways, it is. But it's also nice how little things like that, right, can kind of like, oh, I really, really want a new guitar. Oh, I just bought a $20 new slide, and then you feel like you get the dopamine hit. It's kind of the same. Pedals are the same, but they're okay. What about the new Chase Bliss?
Brothers
King of Tone, the analog. So is it essentially the King of Tone in the Chase Bliss enclosure with all their little options, little dip switches?
It appears to be that way, as well as
because he says it's all analog.
Well, the other side of it is the Beano Boost.
Well, it's got the Beano Boost and the little fuzz thing, right? Now here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Here's the catch.
How many years are we in for the King of Tone? Like you're still like multiple years waiting on the wait list, right?
I think so. I can't believe there's still a wait list. I'm like,
well, I think it's just years of it accumulating at this point, right? Even if no one else ever signed up, you know.
Baxter's on the list.
If Baxter was here, he'd probably be saying he's on the list. I don't know. And has been for like at least a year and a half or something like that. 2 years. But the Brothers AM is available right now. So people aren't that excited. But because I looked last night and I was like, man, I should buy one. You know how much? It's $400.
Well, okay, hang on. Hit the brakes. I bought a Chase Bliss Generation Lost Mark II for $400.
Okay.
They have a beautiful payment plan, Jonathan. It's amazing. It makes you feel guilt-free. There's
$10
no interest.
forever.
It's like, yeah,
It's really a
basically.
subscription.
No.
You ever stop paying it, they take the pedal back. It's
They
not yours.
break it down into 4 payments, and they're split up over the course of 4 months. And you're just like, man.
That's that the Klarna
oh,
or like
yeah.
a firm bullshit.
You just go right into it. I was like, I think I can afford a generation loss.
It was like it was free. I am intrigued by the Brothers, but I don't think the Brothers is that good.
I was not impressed with the original Brothers.
I don't know.
But I will tell you. Oh, no, I don't. That's what it was. Let's talk about the King of Tone to start off with. Let's do some slutty tone talk, all right?
I want to talk about that. I do remind me as well. We got to talk about no one cares about me, but we're going to talk about it because you're here. You have to listen. I also want to talk about with the Brothers the new Petty Drive thing. They came out with the version 3, and I feel like we need to talk about it. But anyways, keep going. King of Tone.
Version 3, baby.
Because
yes,
I have King of Tone opinions.
I think I've played like 2 of them, and I mean they're all the same, but played 2 of them. Who cares? I'm sorry. I played the thing and I was not impressed. I was like, I don't know. And I'm not even being contrarian. I was just not impressed. Baxter's squinting at me now. If Baxter were here, he'd be squinting at me right now.
He would for sure be.
I'm serious though. Like I was like, whatever. Now listen, I've had the same experience with the Klon where I'm like, I don't get it. Like,
well, the Klon is so funny though. Like here's what I'll say about the King of Tone. I think it does depend on the amp. My friend down in Summerville, South Carolina, around Charleston, runs a King of Tone into a matchless, and that's about the best. Every time I hear it, which has only been a handful of times, I'm like, I should just sell everything and have those 2 things.
Do you need something that compresses the signal a bit? Is that what we're kind of talking at here?
Maybe so, because here, listen, the other amazing dual drive that everybody likes at the moment is the Protein, right? I mean, there's more than one, and I really like the Protein. But I think the Protein, and it tells you this in the little thing, it's voiced for a clean amp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and it does do a different thing into a clean amp than it does into a dirty amp, and it's not as good. Yeah. And I think, I mean, I haven't spent any time with a King of Tone into my own gear to know.
Yeah.
But
I was impressed with the Protein. We had one of those here for a bit, and I thought that was killer. Super impressed with that.
They just came out with version 4.
Yes.
Which apparently has some new life-changing thing. You got to have the new one. If you got the old one, just throw it away.
You got to have the new one.
Send them to Sean.
You got to have the new one.
Send your version 3 to Sean.
Oh my God. Surrender.
Dude.
I want to say this too. We are still working on Bohemian Rhapsody. Me and Jonathan were working out.
I know. We haven't abandoned you.
A tab of it. Like we were trying to figure out how we could voice it. We were doing that this week.
No, we were really
seriously.
If Baxter was here, we wouldn't be saying this because we were supposed to be working. Clearly. Instead, we were talking about how should we do this. But no, there's been lots of discussion on how not to just do it straight. You know, like how to change it up.
Tom, thank you.
Contrarian, good job.
I have.
So you get how does Sean get F-bomb $5 and when he uses fancy words? Because I use fancy words sometimes.
It's I'm a little redneck. I'm a little Harvard baby. You know what I mean?
He's a little country and a little bit rock and roll. It's good. What are you gonna do? But Surrender, you're the man. I'm going to send Surrender a vinyl. Surrender sends us gear to demo all the time, so we got to collect it all this week and send it back to him. And I was talking to him this morning. Gonna send him some vinyl. If anybody else wants an old vinyl that sounds okay, let me know, and I'll send you one.
He said, we all know Sean needs the money. I want to let you know, Tom, we consider it a pot around here. So that just goes to lunch. We're like, any tips, there's just like a little lunch basket in our heads, in our hearts. Sweet Alex Holden sent us a tip the other day. He sent it to me directly, and that bought us some wonderful Taco Bell.
That Taco Bell never tasted better because it was bought with love.
It was bought with love.
It was full of love.
That's what we're about.
Do you know, so we got a teacher next to me in the room named Dan, who's delightful. He has a very large beard, and he does cheat days because he's always working out.
Fit.
And we're not like us. Like he's like.
Oh yeah, no, he's like.
He's all cut. He's like, I'm cutting, and
boys cut.
He's gotten into the habit of on his cheat day, he brings me Taco Bell. I'm not sure how this happened.
Yeah.
But it's a delightfully neighborly thing to do. And I feel like I need to reciprocate, but I don't know. I don't want to bring him Taco Bell when it's not his cheat day. So I need to figure out something else.
Bring him a protein
what I mean?
bar or something. Like, here you go, kid.
Some celery.
Bonus for Jonathan complaining about not getting $5.
I love all you guys. I would just like to say. Does he sit and watch me eat? No, he doesn't. Which is if you bring someone food, you can't sit and watch them eat because that's weird. So no, he doesn't.
It is weird, unless you have food that you're like, hey, let's eat together.
Oh man, remember she said you got salmonella from the Taco Bell. That's horrible.
Well, see, he said from the leafy greens they used.
The irony is I would think the meat is what should kill you from the meat they scrape off the bottom of the thing when they're grinding up the real meat. That's the Taco Bell meat. But
oh, you mean that stuff with all the bones in it and everything?
Yeah. Chicken anus. It's a thing.
They hate us because they chicken anus.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm sure this is the morning that my children and wife have tuned in because I've started cursing early and now I'm talking about chicken anuses.
Please grab some taco. Oh no, Chris. I'm glad I just flat out yelled that one. That was awesome.
Somebody was asking, I believe it was our friend the Mighty Woodrow, has anybody done the MXR, what is it, the Duke of Tone or something like that, versus the... Everything I've heard is that it is not nearly as good, sadly.
How is that, how cyclical have we gotten that MXR is, revamping things that are happening in the moment now?
Well, because it was not just that, right? It was the Prince of Tone, and was it the Timmy thing? What else did they do?
Yeah, the Timmy.
And the Duke of Tone. And they were all sanctioned, right? Like they were, they had the blessing of the companies.
Sure, yeah. And I get that. It's just funny. It's
I don't know.
Cyclical, man. It's
Listen,
weird.
the Timmy was sort of like the first, the Paul Cochran. You guys remember that? The Tim and the Timmy? That was the first one I really remember. You gotta have it, new drive. That was kind of like small batch, you know? And those are really, really good.
I miss when all these pedal guys hated each other. That's what I miss.
You're just thinking
there
of
was
full
a
tone.
war.
You're thinking of full tone.
Oh. Wait, okay, so I can still have that.
Yeah, you can still have that.
The full tone guy's gonna kill us. He's gonna show up and beat the hell out of us. I'm
Yeah,
breaking
no,
up
the
people's
Timmy
houses and
was
stealing back.
pretty neat. Generalized said it's sanctioned double dipping. Do you guys like the Ingwe strat? Ingwe. I don't know. I don't know if I would want something for legit with scalloped frets. What about you, Sean?
I mean, it's cool. I would if I had unlimited money, I would have.
That would be one of those
scalped
things
frets.
if I had unlimited money
Yeah.
and just collected fun little kitschy things. I'd be like, oh yeah, give me an Ingwe strat. Cool.
But
Now I'm steamed.
that's not the next thing I'm gonna buy or anything. You know, it's neat. I think I like the idea of having one that the old Jack White special where it's all frets regular up here and then underneath scalloped. You know. That could be kind of cool.
I could be okay with that.
Because then you can still get, you can play at things. And then
Here's a hot take. Are you guys ready? Here's my hot take. If you got giant frets, you're basically playing a scallop neck. If you got jumbo frets.
I'll agree with that.
Or narrow tall.
Because if you can press in for the vibrato a little bit.
You don't really need to, you're not trying to press to the wood, right?
Yeah.
So in theory, if you had a light touch, it would make zero difference at all.
Well, see, with the scallop thing, though, I do like the idea of pushing in to get that, that's kind of neat.
Listen, Stuart R. says, what's your favorite Les Paul pickup set?
My favorite Les Paul pickup set? Humbuckers.
I don't... listen, I'm going to say this. It's true.
Dang!
And I kind of hate to say it, but it's true. I don't know that I've ever played a better set than the Gibson, the 999 ones they right bitched about that came in the awesome little case.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I've played Wiz. I've played, throwbacks. I've played all
Now
the bare
listen,
knuckles.
though. Hang on. The Wiz pickups are pretty dope.
But let's say you're not paying for them and you got both.
Oh, dude, come on.
And it's here you go. I know.
You know what the hell I want.
Because
I want that
better.
little sticker, dude.
Because they're better.
I want to look at the back of that thing and be
but
like,
it doesn't matter because there's almost something in you that's oh, that's lame to have the Gibson ones. Sorry, Uncle Mark, if you're watching. But they're better. They're the
Mark,
best.
Don't listen to him.
Don't listen to him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of want the boutique-y. I got my Italian slide in my pocket and it's a nice set of whiz pickups.
Listen,
that's what's,
In a few weeks, I'm not gonna fly because I gotta have my real ID now. I'm gonna drive to Nashville, and I'm gonna come and hang out. But I'm gonna deliver my SG so I can get repaired at the Gibson garage, right, or wherever I gotta take it. I don't know. I gotta call the guys again. That Jason called for me. That was probably a bad move.
you got to.
But I'm gonna call and I'm gonna get all that lined up. But whenever I do come, I want to look at 335s.
Whew.
I'm not going to buy anything right now, but whenever I do, it would be kind of dope if I could maybe stumble upon a set of PAF sort of pickups to put in that thing, because that would be like the forever 335, and ever and ever.
Sometimes I think I should put something awesome in my 335, but I also am happy with how it sounds. So I've never been like a chase the pickups. If I like the way a guitar sounds.
I got a set of Stephanie Lopez hand-wound humbuckers, Castadosa humbuckers you could drop in that thing. I want to hear them in something.
I would like, if it wasn't such a pain in the ass to change them in a 335, we would just do it. But it is a pain in the ass to change them in a 335. Now, did you hear that little beep sound? That's the sound of casino healthcare.
I'm not here.
That's right. We have our own blood transfusion device. We all change our blood every day. That's
It's
how we
actually
stay, so,
sending
young and
everybody's
spry.
blood into one thing.
We
though.
mix them. We put them in a pot and
So-
blood types them in.
If you come into the shop any day this week and Derek looks a little anemic and kind of sick,
We
understand.
just got the dose wrong. We didn't
Turns
put
out-
enough. Baxter's overfilled.
Yes.
Derek's a little low. It's fine. Now, maybe she said about the Fralin Sunbuckers. Those are, there's so many good pickups out there. And that's the thing. And I'm also not sure.
But there can be only one.
I'm not sure that different guitars, just the way they react, and I know Tonewood's a myth, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure that there's a one thing fits all, you know what I mean? I also am not sure you'd ever find it, because it's not like you're going to try every humbucker set in one guitar. I don't know.
That's what you say. We're going to change it on.
I don't know. What are you going to do?
I think Daniel is right. He said changing pickups on a semi-hollow and changing strings on a Floyd are some of the most annoying things. I agree with that. I'll tell you this though, it's easier to get used to swapping out pickups on hollow bodies than it is to get a Floyd Rose. Like Floyd
Roses are ridiculous.
I've done enough Floyd Roses now that I feel confident in my skills to do one, but it's still an amount of time that is just obnoxious. You're just like, what the hell? And there's always one little thing that'll throw it off, and you're gonna go back, and you know the deal. That to me is absolute annoyance. To where at least with the 335, if you pre-plan enough and tie the strings on and do all the steps, even though it's kind of aggravating to do all the steps, it's gonna go back. Yeah. You're like, okay.
I'm thinking about cutting mine in half, and then I'll just glue it back together.
I think you just cut out a big old panel in the back,
For a while, I thought that the Gretches that had the leather pad on the back, I was like, oh, it's probably so you can get to the pickup. You know what I mean? Turns out, no. Like, wouldn't that have made sense, though?
It would have made
to put an access panel that you're not going to see.
Perfect sense. Some guitars have that, where it's got a little plastic plate underneath it, and you just pop it off like a strap would. I want to say this real quick. This goes out to Uncle Mark for two things. I don't know if he had any hands in this. The first thing, the Maestro Mariner tremolo pedal with the harmonic setting is dope.
It's good.
I got one of those. I want to give a shout out to the Guitar Center in Cary. I don't know why, and I don't want to actually say what the price was or what the deal was done, but I got a killer hookup, and I don't know if it was due to the sweet luthier over there. I was just hanging out there this past weekend, and it was awesome. I was like, that's amazing. So thank you guys there, but also Uncle Mark. Dude, what the hell? That thing's badass. I would have sent this to you on Instagram. I deleted all my social media off my phone.
I was going to say, if you've been messaging Sean,
I'm gone.
Because I've been sending messages to a couple of the groups we're in, and I'm like, Sean's not even. I'm like,
He
oh yeah,
doesn't
he doesn't
even
have it.
care.
He doesn't care.
If,
but I think that's what our pal Mark Stanton won at the Woodwire Bolts, right?
dude, I think so.
Wasn't it the trim? And
It's
that's pretty
killer.
awesome.
Yeah, it's badass. Like, good job, Maestro. That's like sick. If you haven't played one, go play one. But yeah, Mark, great job. Mark number 2. Here's your next compliment. Get ready, bud. They started to do on the Gibson Guitars, Gibson TV page, like a compilation, like best of situation. They did like the best 335s.
I gotta watch that,
Dude.
I gotta watch it, and then I'll send old Uncle Mark.
I want a damn 335 so bad now. It's bad. Sean's Social Dark Ghost right now. Healthy choice. It is a healthy choice, Jenner. I have to get out of it. I was like, ugh.
My wife is sort of doing it right now, except she also does social media for her job, so it's a little tricky. But she's like her personal stuff. But I'm like, she's sitting there like making a reel for like her little shop that she works for, and I'm like, I know you see the message I sent you.
No. I took a break.
She probably has her personal one off.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
Well, for me,
it's still annoying.
What does suck is there are things about like this stuff. Like I want to be able to talk to some of you guys that we all hang out with every day. You know, Alex Holden sends us great memes.
He does.
Mark Stanton was talking to us about a baseball project. We've been talking to all kinds of people. It's great, and I do miss that element of it.
We gotta get back to old Mark about our baseball project.
If anybody,
Mark, if you're watching, I don't know if you're on here. I haven't meant to not answer you. I just. You know how, how life goes sometimes.
Mayor McCheese, you know, he messages us a lot. I haven't been able to talk to him at all. It's at 335. That's awesome. If anybody who wants my number, I guess just ask Johnny.
Just give it out.
Or whatever. Yeah, let me just yell it out over the.
Think about it. If every subscriber gave you 335, you could buy any match 335 you wanted.
Dude.
What's the most expensive 335 that's ever sold, Derek?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'll look it up.
I would love.
Jamie, find out the most expensive.
Jamie. Who's that guy who went on Joe Rogan and like was saying that? Hey, Jamie, pull this up.
Yeah, no, Mark said good to hear he's wondering. No, I know I haven't answered on the thing, but we've actually been speaking about it.
Busy. So, we talked about it. Yeah.
But that doesn't help you, so sorry about that. But no, we can chat about that.
We're trying to figure out logistically how and when we could fit something like that into.
That's right.
So we're looking at schedules. Johnny's got a bunch of gigs. You gotta go.
I got some gigs going on, like some road things. I also am trying, and the pilot radio here, if any of you guys see it on my Instagram, did an artist spotlight today and was talking about new music, which I am working on new music. Surrender asked me about it this morning. And of course these guys are all involved. Sean's involved. Derek's helping a ton, and we're using the Neon Rooster, and Baxter's playing some. So
I don't know nothing about nothing.
You know, trying to get all that going. I wish I had a hard it will be out July 5th, but I unfortunately do not. But I'm trying to get all that going too. But I will say, we got a pretty killer original set going on, and we're gonna debut that original set at this little Hilltop Music Festival that's happening here on May the 4th. So that's kind of neat.
Just play your one song at the end here, Johnny.
No, which one are we playing?
The long version of.
Don't go putting it out yet. Don't go putting it out yet. That was neat. It's almost there. That was cool though.
It's a cover of Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones, but I changed the name to Mr. James and me. Mr. James and me.
Oh no.
No. That'd be really funny.
Gotta run, guys. Tom, we'll see you later. Thanks for
We
the
love you,
335, dude. I appreciate it. I'm saving my pennies. Let's see. I might just write Sean a letter. When was the last time you got a handwritten letter in the mail? Top tier experience. If everybody starts writing me letters, that's going to be hilarious because I will feel obligated to write back. I'll be like,
Everyone should write Sean a letter right now. Pen pals. Pen palsy.
It's going to be great if we get like a couple hundred letters in the mail and I'm just like, fuck, I'm going to be writing all day.
John Roy. It's Rick James, bitch.
I love it.
That's such a great. All I can see is that Rick James. I can't see the real
no.
Rick James anymore.
Real Rick
It's
James
just Dave
is
Chappelle Rick James.
He is no longer
I'm Rick
a part of
James.
it. There is only the myth now.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. It's just amazing. I don't know.
Jen Rye said, I enjoy the Counting Crows. Did you watch the Rick Beato and Anthony Fantano did an interview together? That's weird. I didn't expect that shit to pop up. I saw that yesterday. I was like, whoa. And then, as well, Rick Beato interviewed Adam Duritz from Counting Crows. It was interesting. I feel like it's a lot of stuff I already knew and heard. Apparently, everybody hated Mr. Jones until they got the drum part right.
No, the greatest part about that is the story about how T-Bone Burnett got the drum part done.
Yeah.
Did you watch that part? Where he brings in the other studio guy?
No. Oh, yeah. The drummer, yeah. Because he's like, and T-Bone Burnett is like.
Now you won't have to.
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name. He's just going to do it.
Yeah. He's like, you don't. It started with, I've been thinking about it. And how dare I try and make you play on something you don't want to play on, man? Like, you want to do it a certain way. I get that. And I respect that. And I should never put you there. So that's why we got so-and-so to play. And then the guy steps in and does it. He, kills it. Because, the song, if you listen to that song right now, it still kicks. I like it.
Songs like that sometimes get overplayed, right? And it's like, I never want to hear it again.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it is an amazingly catchy song.
Yes. Yeah.
Mr. Bean Lambs, I'm very excited. We are almost to the finish line on a guitar he and I have been working on for quite some time. So that's pretty awesome. Extra Screen says, I'm going to start a 90s cover band called Counting Black Sheryl Crows. My God, that would be amazing.
That's
But you
insane.
could only do them in the style, you could only do Black Crows style songs in the vein of Counting Crows. That'd be kind of funny. And only Sheryl Crow songs in the style of the Black Crows.
I love it. We got a question here. There's a
got a
handful. We got, what about a 339?
That was my first one I was looking at. No. Next question.
Honestly, no. I've played them and I'm like, what's the point?
Listen, there is something neat about the
yeah,
size,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I've never picked one up that I thought had the vibe of a good I've never played a 339 that I thought, man, this is the one.
Same.
Now Baxter kind of likes them because he likes the size. I don't know. There's something about, maybe it's psychological, for me, but I don't know.
It's never same.
I've just never played one that I thought, man, that's got the stuff. And I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm not saying people don't have them that love them. I've probably heard people play one that I thought had great tone and all the stuff, but I don't know.
Same. It's never hit me either, but if you like it, do it. All right. Dale Boyle says, hey guys, I have a question for you both. I use a Tone King Ironman mini attenuator to get low bedroom volumes with a Sir Hombre amp. Would a Freet power station be a significant improvement? You probably have way more experience with this than I do.
I think the Tone King stuff, as far as attenuator, is pretty darn great. So I honestly don't know that it would be. Now, that said, I don't have much actual experience with the Fryette, the power station. I've heard amazing things, but I don't really know. But my guess is it's probably not going to be that much better than what you're already getting with the... Now, if you tell me you had an old hot plate from the 90s or something, yes.
Yeah.
But
I think
Tone King's got it pretty friggin' dialed in.
Well, I was gonna say there's so many companies that are crushing stuff like that right now, with any attenuation, like Dr. Z. I didn't realize Tone King did them until right now. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I think if it's anything from the last 10 to 15 years that is in design and they've made improvements to it, you're probably gonna get the same quality across the board.
I do think there's some features to that Fryette power station thing that are more than just an attenuator.
Yeah.
So for that maybe, but like I said, I don't know enough about that one. On to important things. Every curly person is related. It's true. You're all exactly the same. You like frickin' pieces of broccoli walking.
I
I think this is hilarious.
Me and Baxter get it all the time. All the time. Never ends. Now, what is funny though is like Baxter has a kind of like an adopted son who you all know, Zach Person, Sweet Zach. Anytime we're all together, it is kind of like looking in this weird mirror, like multiple universes. And then there's other people involved in this too. Like I feel like you could easily start to wrap in other curly-haired folks, you know? It's not good. People think, I had a student who said, what's that girl's name? Grace Bowers. They're like, oh, Grace Bowers is like your little sister.
You guys look just the same.
If you had a daughter, that's what she'd look like. I'm like,
curly hair? No, probably not.
No, it's like, I don't have blonde hair. And it's like, also her face is completely different.
It is funny that you and Baxter look nothing alike other than you.
Yeah, no, just the hair.
Kind of remotely the same hair. I have put Nick Ramble's comment up so that we
Kelly
can all shame
suck.
him.
Dude.
I would like to pour shame upon Nick.
Shame.
Shame.
You're right.
I just don't understand how anyone could say such a thing.
No,
you could say, Teles aren't for me. I'm not a very good player. You could say things like that.
Magic Man said he must mean television.
Television. No, I'm just kidding, Nick. If you hate Teles, you hate Teles. But man, how can you hate Teles?
I think you got to play the right one. There's a lot of Teles out there, and this goes for the handful of majority of them that I've played at least. They suck. Like they're set up bad.
But I mean, you can say that for like Les Pauls. You can say that for all sorts of things. But Nick says, I'm joking, sort of. I love people that play them, but not for me. Now, there's a lot of guitars I sort of feel that way about, right?
Absolutely.
But you know,
they, like,
Magic Man says how he feels about all the PRS semi-hollows. So there you go. No, you do have to find the right telly, and I think that there is a huge difference between a good like 50s telly and like a 60s telly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
I'm 60s all day, but
and then they live in, you know, you got I actually have liked a lot lately the later 50s.
I was gonna say you tend to lean closer, even sonically, I think, and not like the mud circuit and stuff like that. But I do
just
feel
the
like,
idea of like the no caster kind of pickups and like that kind of thing. I like that sound a lot.
like high output bridge pickups.
Yeah, because it gets that gnarly rock thing where I think the Rosewood necks kind of do the country thing. But now I would like to have a nice like Rosewood neck telly custom with like binding, because I just love those.
You said the other day a really, really smart thing, I think.
First time for everything.
You said Tweed amps have a chaoticness to them whenever you turn them up.
They do.
And I was like, that's a really good way to put that.
Of course it is. I am an expert. I don't just play one on YouTube. No, but seriously, I showed Sean the other day an old clip of me playing in the old Nash Vegas with my bassman, and I kind of missed that tone.
I mean, listen,
Me and Will the Dollar Bill Sanford.
The Dollar Bill Sanford. I feel so bad. I know he probably won't ever watch this. I need to just call him and be like, hey man, I was down and out the weekend that he came. All my life stuff kind of compiled into one moment of like, hey, do it, jump, end it all, who cares? So I feel bad for not making it there to see old Mr. Sanford, Will the Dollar Bill Sanford.
Will the Dollar Bill Sanford? He's gonna be so mad.
I know. He's gonna be like,
Chris Thomas says, what about a casino for the smaller hollow body? Yeah, I mean, I do think the casino and the 335 are so different because one's semi-hollow and one's hollow.
I'm gonna grab a guitar right now. It jumped out at me, and I was like,
and
you know,
we got a nice American-made casino next door.
it is dope.
It actually is. Super cool to me. I don't know that it lives. I mean, you know, obviously they're in the same like universe, but I don't know if it's the same thing for me. For that. Ooh, there you go.
I'm like,
there you go,
dude. Maybe I just get a bridge for this thing.
I mean, there's probably some good like 339-ish options. I just don't know where they are. No, Derek loves the Gibson Midtown, and those are cool guitars.
It's like a Les Paul mix.
So that's it. It is like a weird mix of a Les Paul and like an ES. So Shane says, just play a Gretsch. Hey, have you guys seen the new Broadcaster LX, the new center blocks Gretsch just come out with? Those look kind of awesome. In fact, I could see myself rocking one of those in the 335 because that makes me happy, and I like big guitars. That would be cool.
Big guitars.
That would be cool. What's the best preamp to get the Showman Bassman tone, and what's the cheapest? I don't know what. I think the best preamp is just to have a bassman. But I don't know.
I
I'd have to think about that question. It's a good question.
it is a good question.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would put you.
I mean,
there.
well,
the basement does a thing. You
I was
know?
gonna say, do you think the Woodrow gets close?
No. The Woodrow's a cool pet, like the Woodrow, not our mighty Woodrow who was here with us, but you know the UA pedals, right? The original ones were the Ruby, the Dream, and the Woodrow. The Woodrow is supposed to be the Tweed. I don't think to me, it's not basement-y at all. It lives more in that like deluxe, you know, or like the high-powered twin kind of thing.
Well, that's kind of what I was
the Tweed twin.
figuring. Yeah.
But I don't know. I really like the character of the Woodrow clean, like when the input and the mic and the other one, the instrument, are like barely on, and then turn the output up. I think that's a really pleasant tone for like a bass tone to use pedals with, right?
Yeah.
Once it gets up dirty, I don't love the low. Like they nailed the low end of the Tweed so much.
Yeah.
It's kind of flabby and digitally mic'd. It's like they got all the things that when you were gonna really mic a Tweed that you'd carve out with the EQ. Did you understand what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I know that's dumb, but I mean like
No, I
that's
get
how
what
I
you
feel
mean,
about
though.
it.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you're just trying to use it. Now the speaker changes in there make a big difference, and so does the boost circuit. And I mean it's a cool pedal. I just don't love the dirty sounds in that like I do. And then I found this across the board, like most Tweed modelers, and especially Tweed basement modelers. I love the sound of a basement in the room with me. You know, I love the sound of like a Tweed Deluxe in the room with me. But every time now Mike is different, but every time I hear them modeled, I'm like, ugh.
I talked to
I
a
don't
buddy
like
of
it.
ours who is getting some 2-rock action, and he was asking me. He said he played the Bloomfield Drive simulator, right? The plug-in online, and he's like, I didn't feel like it did this or that. I said, there's so much about the amp in the room and that speaker activation thing, getting the volume up. It's really hard for emulators to get that stuff right. I think I haven't seen it done to the point that I'm
it's
like
hard
impressed.
Mike to get that stuff right.
Yeah, it is.
I've had shows before, right? Like pretty good shows where like I'm playing for somebody and my tone on stage, to me, this is obviously subjective, right? But to me, I'm like, my God, this is glorious. Like it's amazing. And then I hear like the playback of what was in the front of the house. I'm like, oh my God. And I've had the opposite. I've had where I hated my tone on stage.
Yeah.
And then I heard it like what, you know, so.
Out in front, it sounded great.
Or at least on the video, you know, of somebody's little, and obviously by the time you hear it on somebody's video phone and it's compressed and whatever. I don't know. It's just a funny thing. Greg McFadden says, I have the Tone King Iron Man 2 and use it with my Princeton. It sounds great. Yeah. The Iron Man stuff. That's I think one of the cool things about the Tone King stuff in general is those are built in to most of their amps. Which I think is what's cool about like the car amps. Like they have a great attenuator built in.
I agree.
We got that little Tone King Gremlin that's got the Iron Man built in, and it sounds awesome when you turn it down.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think built-in amp attenuators, sometimes master volumes, you know, like they kind of get the vibe right. But there's a balance because you can lose something if you don't have the master set fairly.
Do you remember for a while they had the everybody was all pumped up about the little Tone Silk speaker where it had the knob on the back of the speaker and they like turned.
Yeah.
And it like I'd like to try one of those. I think what's his name? Little Walter.
Well,
was
it
using those
killed
for a while.
4 guys, so.
Hey, sometimes you pay a price for tone.
For
There's a
tone.
risk. Good tone isn't safe, Sean.
Frederick Roger, there's been a couple of people who have asked. I am holding a Univox 335 kind of knockoff thing with a steel adjustable neck. It needs a setup massively.
I think this is a brilliant comment by Sean Brooks.
I agree with that.
He says, when will we stop chasing digital stuff sounding just like the tube amps and instead have them do their own thing? If we're going to use digital stuff, if you want to incorporate digital stuff, I think that's the way.
Yeah.
Forget making it sound just like this or that or, you know, because you won't. But there's absolutely great usable sounds in it.
Yes.
And I think that would also be the only way to have like a tube amp and digital, because like we've done that before and it's like,
Well,
but if you use it to like pump it up and fill it out, could be really cool.
the McGee, who is like hot guitar player kind of coming out on the scene for the sounds that he's making with his
Derek
guitar.
Clipton loves him.
Derek Clipton is a huge fan. McGee's whole thing is kind of taking these digital devices that most people would shun, right? Like those old Boss all-in-one units and stuff that people would be like, oh, no, this sucks.
I should have kept mine. Should have kept my old recorder, like Boss recorder. Use it like that Tascam stuff.
He is kind of taking all that stuff and running through all this old digital hardware to create a sound that you can't really describe, and it doesn't sound like it's exactly like what you're saying. Like it feels like it is its own thing. It doesn't sound like it's trying to mimic a tube amp or anything. It sounds like he went for something and stumbled into an unknown territory. I think that's how we do need to go about digital stuff. Is like let it be kind of weird and quirky or have its own avenue, you know. And then on the other side of that, have all these great tube amps. Like why we make them both. We might as well just do that. You know. It's my thought.
This is a maybe a biased comment.
Last April.
But it bears reading. Jonathan's 62 Fender Custom Shop Strat into the M80 last April at 715 Bar and Grill was amazing. Changed my musical direction. Well,
that's nice.
Thank you. That was a fun night because I was playing the 335 into the M80 and broke the string, and it sounded good. Yeah. But this is a weird thing, right? Like amps don't sound the same every night in the same different places, right? Like the 335 sounded pretty good that night, but for whatever reason, the magic that night was when I broke the string, put on the Strat, and it was like, oh my God, this is a tone. And the next time that might not be the tone. It's just funny how that happens.
I plugged in the same rig last night that I've been plugging in for the last week.
And you're like, God, this sucks.
No, every night before, I was like, man, I'm frustrated, like. And it had nothing to do with like the gear. It was just like nothing was vibing, you know. And then last night I go home and I plug everything in, my pedal board into the amp. It was like great,
perfect.
There it is. Know? I mean, I was playing anything I wanted. And it was like, this is awesome. Like this is great.
If you go out and play different rooms, and if you ever are doing it like lots of nights in a row, like if you're on a little run or something, I think you start to hear, like, it's the same settings.
Yeah.
The only thing that's changed is where you are, maybe the power in the place, But I used to have that with the basement all the time, And sometimes I wonder if when it was put back together, if that was all psychological. Because I know even before that, I'd have some nights where I was just like...
To fill y'all in on this, too, Jonathan had a vintage 59 basement.
No, it wasn't vintage.
I know.
God, I wish it was.
It would be nice, though. God. He had a basement, though, and
if anyone wants to send me
apart.
an old nasty one, I'll take it.
Man, that sucked, though. Like, it basically, there was an accident, and it rattled to pieces inside of its amp case.
Little road case.
And, I get it. Like, sometimes... There's magic.
This was I was in Nebraska playing. Then our next gig was in Denver. My pesky wife called me in between and said, our son had to be born right then. And so I flew home. No, he was early. And so I flew home, and the guys went on to Denver. This like crazy snowstorm popped up because it was in March. But they ran off the road into a field. And when the trailer hit those rows, like the plowed up rows, it just went bam, bam, bam. And so, their stuff was mostly fine. They get home, and I open my little lift-off road case, and there's just like screws falling out into my basement. I was like, damn it. So I take it to the tech, Jeff Heim, who's amazing in Nashville, by the way. And he put it all back together, man, but to me, it seemed like it was just never quite the same. And then I started trading it. But anyways, that was cool.
I mean, I feel that, though. Like, I don't know. Something can go amiss.
Things, it was just weird. It was just odd.
Now, I think I'm throwing in some wrenches into this, like, and we'll come back into some comments, I think. Any opinions on the Kingfish tank?
I was just going to say really quickly, I think it's good.
I think it's good, too. It's cool. If you like it, dig it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have both been in a place of reflection to say, should we just get a Fender-styled amp, like a deluxe reverb, a Princeton? We got all these boutique things, and I think both of us are at a place where we're like, you remember how good that one thing sounded? And you're like, damn.
Which a basement is like how much money now?
$2,000.
Are they that or are they more? I thought they were maybe even more.
It might be $209 or $2,099. which is fine, but man, I want a 68 Princeton custom.
Yeah, 29.9, $2,100 for a brand new lacquered tweed basement.
Or I want a deluxe reverb. Now, you know, it's hard to knock that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it just crushes
There
it.
is a little part of me that wants to trade my Twilighter for something like that. And I love my Twilighter, but I play the M80 a lot more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Brad's right. It's hard to beat. A Princeton is kind of amazing in almost every scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times when it's like it's not enough, you know. And but I mean, you know, with monitors and mics, but
I mean, they're just good, man.
you know,
They're just good. I'd buy a $3,000 Princeton from y'all, but you don't have one in stock. I can get one, and I love the hand-wired Princetons. They're amazing. Let me know, Chad. I got you.
so you know,
The Tone Master
gonna
Tweed
do?
basement is pretty good.
I don't know. I feel like if I'm gonna have a thing that's that big, anyways.
Let's
I mean, I know
do
it's
it.
lighter. Let's just have the basement,
just
right?
do it.
Or
Yeah.
let's just have a pedal on the ground that you know, let's have the friggin' Tone Master Pro or something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Basil Tiffany said, I can't bring myself to buy a $1,500 plus on a Fender amp. I'd go boutique.
I kind of understand that.
I get that.
because like you're thinking, man, if I'm gonna spend $2,000, I could probably get something that's hand wired.
And whenever I got my Varsity, it was $2,000. You know,
They're more than that now.
They're more than that now,
But there's some great $2,000 amps out there. You know,
That's
you
what
get
I
into like
mean.
Dr. Zealand,
There's
you get into
stuff
like,
around.
you know.
you know,
Sean Brooks is right. You can buy the Fender Bassman, or you know, for $1,000 all day long. This is true.
Yep.
This is true. And you get into the older ones, like I don't remember what year were the like 90s, those late 90s ones, maybe even early 2000s had the solid state rectifier, and the Tweed wasn't like lacquered. You know what I mean? And then you get to the darker ones, they got the old school, the tube rectifier.
Who makes that amp that is the 4.8?
Oh,
What's
Milkman.
that? Yeah.
Milkman's got, I think it's called the
one's
Beekeeper or something like that.
Yeah.
And they make one in a 112 or a 110, but they also make it in a 4.8. 4.8s.
It sounds cool as hell.
A
It
little
sounds
eight, like so. It's essentially an 18 watt. And is it a basement or a super reverb?
I think it's supposed to be a super reverb. I
Can't remember.
Because I think it's
but
got like
four
reverb
eights
in it.
either way. Pretty cool. I'd like to try one.
Like-
and I don't want to try a 12-inch speaker. I want to try I want 4.8s.
That Milkman that we had here for a bit, I was like, damn, that's good, man. Like that ate me up. That's what it was. Is I had that thing and I was like, I gotta get like a Princeton or something. Just something that I can just pick up and rip. You know, I'm like, damn it.
Let's see.
The Marla stuff is great too. I love that. But I do find myself, you ever play an amp and it kind of makes you play a certain way?
Yep.
The Marla makes me play a certain way. It's great, but whenever I'm playing it, I'm like, okay, this is for this. It's great for writing and like recording some of that stuff, but I want to have something that I can step out of, you know?
I want to say something about that in a second after we answer. I almost said Bat Oil, but it's Bat Ollie 20. This is what is Baxter's live rig. It's just his two hands.
His two hands
Tone is in the fingers,
and the will to live,
and
baby.
just his thoughts
His
come out.
thoughts.
Now, I mean, Baxter, you know, Baxter doesn't play a ton live, but when he does, if he's playing guitar, it's probably going to be his Bloomfield.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. He's got a lot of options. He can grab a car
Well,
and a Strat of some sort. Usually,
What's really cool about Baxter is he will show up with just a guitar
he
and
can
he
make
will plug in anything.
work great. It's kind of sickening, honestly, because he's
Yep.
very good at it. So I mean, you know, Strat and kind of any decent
Yes.
little tube amp. Dude, I've seen him go take GS Minis to stuff and just destroy it.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys see the 89-volt post yesterday?
Oh,
we did see.
yeah,
Congratulations to our buddy. In fact, I thought about asking Eddie if in the next week or two he wanted to jump on a live stream, because he just signed a record deal with the old Dan Arbach of the Black Keys. I forgot the name of their label.
I'm excited.
but-
This is gonna be awesome. Dude.
So they're gonna make his next record, which should be killer. Who is also, you know, that's who just worked with Marcus King, right? Did some records.
Well, and that's what's really cool is I'm excited to see. Like, is Eddie gonna go in a direct, like, because Marcus King has taken some what I'll call left turns that have paid off really well. That Mood Swings record
But I
is
think
cool.
you're good for him, you know.
Yes, I'm excited to see if this like gets Eddie to
I think Eddie already did do that. Like the Saratoga song, like
That's
doesn't
what I
have a
mean.
guitar solo. You know what I mean? Like
It's like he's got that.
and I don't want that for everything, but
No.
like it's cool to have some songs like that. You know?
Yes. Well, and even there's a song like that, but then on that same record, I think is it Love Moves Slow or something like that. Like it's more of like a.
Yeah.
He's just got these songs on there that I'm like, there's some avenues that I would like to see you expand into.
Well, you can't lump Eddie
That'd be
into
dope.
just a blues
No.
guy because Eddie loves old R&B. He loves all these old
Yes.
old cool things, and he's one of those guys who is very much like a music historian. He just knows all these deep cuts and like
Yes.
these, you know what I mean, like how to get these certain tones. And I feel like that just comes out of him. He's not to be too much like Eddie 9 volts the greatest, but I mean because Eddie's our pal, we do like him, so we're probably biased, but. I feel like he's one of those guys who's just constantly writing, constantly creating, and I don't think he ever says, you know what, I'm gonna write Texas blues today. I think he
I'm
just
gonna do
says
this, yeah.
whatever comes out that day kind of comes
Yes.
out, and I think that's the best way.
I think
to
it's
be.
awesome. I'm excited to see because he is that way. Like, and maybe to break it down to what his next record might come to the fruition of. I have so much fun listening to the Saratoga album and hearing the like it's fun in the way like listening to old Otis Redding records are, and like just stuff like that where you feel like the music is, even whenever it's a sad song, there's a lift to it that feels great.
It feels good, and you
Yes.
want to hear it, and you want to. That's
Whatever,
what it's supposed to be.
whatever is around the corner, I'm excited to see if that is. I know it'll be a continuation of that in some form or fashion, but it's going to be really great. It's exciting.
Bad Ollie said he was curious about Baxter's live rig because he said in the past he doesn't really use pedals. Every time I've seen Baxter try to use pedals,
It's funny.
he's like, no, he's just like,
It's not doing it.
I mean, I know that's kind of like a badge of honor for some people, and like people just say that. Baxter really, he just doesn't use pedals. But he also, I've never really heard him need, like the way he plays, like his playing style, it doesn't really need that. Like he kind of does everything with the guitar, and he's also not a crazy like ride. You don't see him riding the tone. Like it really is all his picking attack in his hands.
His volume control, me and him talk about this often. His right hand control in comparison to like mine, or and I won't
very,
speak
very
on yours.
good,
Yeah, it's like he can do so much
dynamic of
with
that,
his right hand in the dynamic range, to where most of the time I'm like a hammer. You know what I mean? Like that's it. He's got such a presence with that. It's really cool. It's cool to witness and see, and you can hear it, and you're like, damn.
Sean Brick says I don't use no pedals. Plugs a 5K guitar into a 5K. I mean,
Yeah, but whenever you got that,
well,
do you need
why
it?
would you need the pedals in that scenario? Now, I mean, I like my pedals no matter what, sort of, but
I was looking at my board last night thinking, I got that OD1X on there, that overdrive pedal, first one I ever bought, that I was like, man, and seeing everything else around it, I'm like, I remember having a board, and that was pretty much it. It was that and that reverb pedal, and I was like, that's weird. It's like, look at where I'm at now, this is crazy.
let's see. Bat Ollie says, I have 2 Rock Burnside, and there's a Milkman Beekeeper 4.8 in my area. Thinking of running them wet dry for a mini Tweed super basement rig. Now that would be badass. Now, and I also have to say this, for the longest time, and I think a lot of us shared this view, we didn't think a ton of the Burnside.
Nope, and then
We were like,
one day we woke up.
Well, and then
And
when
we
we
saw
moved everything into the back room that used to be the studio, it could play it and crank it a little bit and hear it like with natural reverb in a room. We were like, dang, that's a great amp. In fact, it may even be on the list, the short list of 2 Rocks that I would want to own, honestly, because it's
good.
just really good.
I was talking to somebody the other day that asked me about 2 Rocks, and they said, oh, that's like the entry-level one. And I'm like, I don't think about it like that. I think about it like, no, that's
Well,
their
it's
Tweed
different.
exploration.
It's a simple, like anything
Yes.
Tweed by just what it is going to be
Design.
simpler, right?
Yeah.
Like, because that's just what Tweeds are. But I think, you talked about, I said that Tweeds kind of have this chaotic nature. And I think most of the updated, like, better boutique Tweeds, that's what they're trying to work on. Like, kind of tame that. In some ways, I think that's what the Magnetone stuff, the original stuff does.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a less chaotic Tweed. I said that to the guy one time. He's like, "Oh, I get it."
Well, and I was thinking about this, and I want to say this because this might be $1 million idea. I doubt it, but somebody should make an amp, and this would be an option for like car because they do a lot of this stuff where it's like an exploration of tones. They should do an amp that is 410s, and it goes from bassman to super reverb.
Nope.
And I think you have an option for bassman, like 59 bassman. Then it goes to a 65 super reverb, and then a 72 super reverb.
That'd be badass.
All of them are they're different, but they are.
The Super B is a similar thing, right? But it's only super reverb settings, you know.
And I think it goes, I could be wrong about this, but I think it goes 64 deluxe, 68 super reverb, 72 super reverb.
I think that's true.
I think that's how it's supposed to go. Now, that amp is badass, and the 72 setting on it is incredible.
We got Mr. Daniel Klein says he can do that.
I can do that.
I mean, that would be kind of awesome, Daniel.
That would be cool.
It would be pretty sweet.
That'd be kind of dope.
Sean Brooks says, "Don't most Tweed players play them clean?" I actually really like the Tweed sound clean. I think it's like it's got more like body and mid range than like the blackface stuff. I do think some people like to run them pushed, you know, but it's got that almost fuzz
Let me tell you also.
kind of thing to it. But
Clean
to me, the
don't
sweet spot
exist.
is I know clean. The best clean has a little bit of hair on it, but
Damn right.
yeah, it's the edge of breakup like Tweed thing to me. So I don't know. But I would. There used to be, and I watched this forever before I got that Tweed Bassman. There used to be this old YouTube video where a dude's playing a couple different guitars, like a Strat, a Gretchen, and maybe a Les Paul.
Yeah.
And he's just going back and forth between super reverb and a bassman, playing exactly the same things.
Yeah.
And he's got the reverb off pretty much, and you just hear the character. I mean, it's really different character. I also think on the bassman you hear the cab a lot because it's the solid pine, and it's way more resonant than like the blackface era cabs. They're deader, you know. And I think that helps the bassman.
They got a little
sound.
knock to them, dude. Well,
Our buddy Joel's got an old bassman. It's one of the best amps. I know it's not really Sean's thing. Sean's like, man, I tell you what, that's all I'd ever do. Just turn the thing up and play it.
It's great. I can't do anything with it. I'm like, what the hell?
God, I love it.
We sat down in the garage, and I was like, man, I'm playing like shit.
But isn't that funny?
It was just me, but
that's just the difference in like different things for different players, right?
oh yeah. If it was a super reverb, I would have been like, sick. Let's do this. I mean, like, let's kick.
I mean, there's a super reverb behind us. You probably can't see it. Like, it's to the left of the two rock. So
that's the best super I've ever played.
God,
I mean,
it never just disappears. Y'all need a real Marshall in the shop. I'd love to have a real Marshall, but
dude,
man, they're loud.
Like a legit super lead or something. That'd be kind of badass.
Awesome. My buddy Ryan used to have some real like old super leads, super basses.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They were just so unmanageable for anything we ever did. You know what I mean? And he was always trying like the attenuators and stuff. And I mean, even JD Simo went through that phase. And where's he back to? Friggin' deluxe reverbs, basically.
I mean, it's hard. I would love to play something that size and that big, but I feel like even the guys who are doing it now, and I've heard stories of it where it's like, oh yeah, it's all like they'll have that up there, and then around the backside of it, it's going into like a 1x12 or something. You know what I mean? Like it's not actually running through the whole rig.
You know, if I was out doing stadiums, yeah, I'd want big ass, Marshall heads and 412s.
Then you can afford to be John Frusciante and
I
have
do
3
feel like
Marshall stacks.
I've told you my horror story about that, right? My first time I ever played in like a little stadium, like hockey arena, and the 412. It was horrible. They didn't take the glass down after it was like one of those deals where like it's the hockey game and you play, and they didn't take the glass down except for in front of us. And the cab was turned backwards, and so every time I hit something, and then we were the opening band for the national act, and I would hit it and like, pop, pop, it would come back louder than what my original thing was, and I was like, holy crap! And it was fine. It got through it, and it sounded cool, but it was less than good.
Ronnie Walker said he needs some Johnny Smooth lead, baby.
We can do it.
Get them on there.
Some Mayshell. Ronnie just got a new
You got a Castadosa,
hummingbird.
dude.
He got a Castadosa. He got a hummingbird too.
I'm like jealous of that Castadosa. Like it's eating me
Kind of
up.
awesome. The Mighty Woodrow says not me. I'm assuming he's saying he does not mind. Now the Mighty Woodrow is all Marshall, half stacks all the time, half stacks, full stacks, whatever you need. And I love that sound. You know, it's just what works. It's just what works. But one of my favorite tones of all time is a cranked Tweed bassman. And a cranked bassman head is pretty amazing as well. You know. Daniel Klein says, thoughts on Nags guitars. Everyone I played was great. The fit and finish is pretty amazing. They're amazing instruments.
I've been able to
I
play
wouldn't
one.
mind having a Nags. For a while, I thought that Eric Steckel Nags that was like based on his old Les Pauls was pretty sweet.
I've not been able to play one yet. I would like
They're
to.
good. Didn't those guys come? Did they come from PRS? Did the Nags guys come from PRS, Derek?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're kind of vaguely PRS related.
Nags, when you get promoted from dentist to
That's right.
dental
That's
surgeon.
right. You're like removing wisdom teeth at that point. Not little fillings. You're cutting those babies out. But no, I probably like some of the Nag stuff even better than the PRS stuff.
You know what I just need to do?
Being honest.
I need to build the built guitar. That's what I need to do. I've been putting it off.
The El Hombre,
Fine.
I still think about it. I still think about it. It haunts my dreams. Yeah, I'd like to play one of those for a bit. But yeah, the Nags are cool. Greg says had to take the dog for a walk, and you're still here. I know. 11-11. We're still here. I still can't believe Surrender ordered me a Star Singer slide. That's why we have the best folks. What about the Martin build and acoustic guitar kits? I don't know. What do you think, Sean? I haven't paid much attention to them, to be fair.
I haven't either. I'm gonna be honest.
I think you're about to say what I was about to say.
Kit
Go ahead.
guitars. Listen, if you want like a cool little project to work on and have in your mind like, hey, this thing probably isn't gonna be perfect by the end of it, you know, unless you have that eye in detail and you're gonna go through all the little details. Not trying to discourage you from doing it. Go for it.
No.
But-
Because some people really enjoy that and it's fun for them, right?
Exactly.
Or it's therapeutic or it's whatever, right?
But-
Me, I've always
Yes.
been more interested in, I just want the guitar there and ready to play. That's why I don't really like, if I do a mod, it's because something I have to, because I'm just like, I can't deal with this thing with the guitar, or something went wrong, right?
Yes.
And like I gotta fix it, so I'm like, might as well try to upgrade. Like I don't enjoy the tinkering part of that. Now there's things I do, right? There's things I do like to build and stuff with you know, but for the guitar stuff, I don't know. I'd rather just
Yeah.
I'd rather just play. So you know, if you want to tinker and build, and probably if you wanted to figure out building, it's
Yes.
probably a great place to start.
Great
you
place
know?
to begin, you know.
So, you know. But I don't know. We'll have to look at it a little closer and see. I'd like to know your thoughts. You probably have at this point have looked at it more than we have, so
Yeah.
it'd be cool to know your thoughts on it. Electrics are safer for kit building, in my experience. A lot can go bad with acoustics. I mean, yeah, that's just true in general, right? Like building an electric is way easier, especially if you're talking bolt-on necks, you know.
It is.
Shane, thanks for hanging out with us. Get some sleep, man.
Do it to it, brother.
Mary McShee says you can also go build a guitar at the Martin factory. Now that's kind of cool.
Surrender said it looks like junk in a money grab. Okay. Well, yeah. There you go. You figured it out.
So you know, that is probably where I would lean. Like there's no kit guitar that I'm like, oh yeah, just send me all the parts, so I'll slap them together.
No, and I've had people bring them into the shop and try and sell them to us, and I'm like, I can't.
Well, listen,
give you anything.
there's a dude in town here, an older guy, who is one of the better guitar players around.
Mm-hmm.
Killer guitar. I mean, like, really good. He's built a few kit guitars, and one was a 335. And listen, he makes them sound great, but he's always telling me, man, they got all these problems. And he's like Baxter. He's like just such a good player. He just kind of, it works for his style. But I'm always thinking, man, for the price of those couple kit guitars, you could have had a really cool something.
Yeah.
But he's got Teles. He put together parts casters.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
That's
But
like
I'm
his
just
thing.
like, yeah, for me,
You
I'm
know.
like, man, screw that. I
Yeah.
don't want that. But that just doesn't make me happy. Some people it just makes them happy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Homegrown Son is working on the 390, the 3P90 Telecaster.
Oh.
He's got a body and a neck.
Cool.
It looks awesome. It's a mahogany body too.
That's neat.
And I don't know if I've been putting in my 2 cents in the emails. I don't know if you've been seeing them because I know you have been on social media. But he's talking to Von Sco about building him some pickups. He can do straight P90s in it, or he can do these things he calls jazz 90s that are like 60% Jazzmaster sound, 40% like P90 sound. And the guy thinks those sound great in the 3P. I'm kind of like, I lean towards straight P90s. But
Why not mix and match?
like some Jazzmaster pickups with some P90s?
Yeah. They do like one. I would do like, what's your favorite Jazzmaster air? Like, do you like the bridge or the neck? Pick one of those, and then do the other 2 standard P90s. I think that would be cool. We have some DGT talk, and I wanted to say, last night I went on a hunt because I know David Grissom is a ripper, and I've heard him rip, and I was trying to show that to somebody, and I could not find a clip that was like, there he is, like ripping, like. And now I'm like, is it all made up? Was it a figment of my imagination? I know I've seen videos of him ripping.
Obviously, the timelines have merged. It's all CERN's fault. We finally got into today's real topic, the Mandela effect.
He never
Maybe
really
he's just
ripped.
not a ripper at our time.
He was somewhere
Listen,
else.
I'm going to say this because we're honest here, but I'm going to get
Go
some
for
hate.
it.
I feel that way about Robin Ford.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen, I'm not saying he's a great player, and he does some really neat things. And his album, like the stuff about, I have this book of his, like this Beyond the Blues, it's like jazzy, and I've learned a ton from that book.
Yeah.
But when I go find him live, like I'm looking for clips of him just like, and maybe it's because he's such a mature player that he doesn't do that. And maybe I'm looking at the wrong stuff. Maybe I need to go older. But I just never find a thing of Robin Ford that I'm like, yeah, that's the one. That's it.
And I'm going to say this one, and somebody's going to cry. Last night, this popped up looking for David Grissom stuff, obviously, PRS. But what's it? The PRS tribute concert. That's what I went looking for, dude. Now I found John Mayer doing his thing up there, and they were playing Vultures, right? And I was watching him play it, and I had my guitar in my hand, and I started playing along and playing the song, and I was like, it just, I don't get it. Like, I don't get the Mayer love. Like, there's so much of it out there that I'm like, it's not like, I don't know. It's just, to be so boom, it's like, I don't know, man. It's not doing it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just don't get it.
In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, Sean.
That's what it feels like, dude.
Well, I mean, first off, I think there are some brilliant things. It's like I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about Frusciante, and I was talking
Same.
about how
Yeah.
his brilliance is not his like lead stuff. Like I'll have kids talking to me about like the solo in Danny California. I'm like, you're missing it. Like that's cool, and it's not bad by any stretch, but it's like
You know what the solo is, though.
I know. I'm just saying, but you understand what I'm saying? Like the brilliance is in the rhythm part thing and
It
the
is.
chord voicings he comes up with, right?
Yeah.
And I think for John Mayer, like Mary Cheese said, Vultures is awesome. That little groove is awesome, right?
Yeah,
like
man.
Neon is super cool. So I think, when you put up but people get into this like John Mayer fanboy thing, and then they think like the random kind of blues stuff is the great part. And it is, he is great at it.
Well,
But
even
the brilliant part, I don't think is that. I think the brilliant part is like some of the songwriting and like that. Yeah, that stuff's awesome. And Mayer's just, not many people can play guitar that great, sing, be a friggin' pop star. So that's it. That's what I think.
I get it. It's just like,
Okay, Mary McCheese.
John Frusciante falls in the same lane too. Sorry,
He does.
I,
No, he does.
I don't.
He does.
I think seeing him live was the worst thing I could have ever done. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that was not a very inspired.
No.
The 40th. You know,
Yes,
it just wasn't.
and
you
I
know.
don't- and I'm
it
not-
wasn't his normal band. It just didn't.
Well,
yeah,
him
I've seen him. Yeah.
and Frusciante, both of them. Like I think I'm like,
for sure.
oh
yeah,
god,
no,
you know,
well.
it wasn't like, and I'm not saying like I
Don't meet
regret
your
going
heroes.
to see. Bingo, that's what we're getting at here. I was like, oh man, like it just made me kind of go, oh, I've been not guitar hero list, just like, man, I've been on a hunt. you
Todd
know?
Roy says Robin Ford's his favorite player. Todd, I would love, and again, I'm not hating on Robin Ford. I just never have found the thing that I'm like, oh, that's the thing. So if you have got like things I should go listen to / watch, I would love like legit suggestions. Mary McCheese says that Ricky never actually says, Lucy, you got some explaining to do. But see, I feel like I have a memory of that. We're back to the weird Mandela effect stuff. I'm sorry.
Who's Ricky?
You know, in I Love Lucy. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Yeah, no, he says why I oughta, and then he's like,
that's a different
pow,
show.
straight to the moon.
A different show.
Pow, right in the kisser. Pow, right in the kisser.
Different show.
I want to say too, Jonathan hates Robin Ford with a passion. See, this is my chance to get him on.
What
the
a
Derek
loser.
Clifton. There it is. Yeah, baby. Own it.
Robin
Own it.
Ford's a loser.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think this is why we have different flavors of guitarists and different things that we all love. Because like for me, I'm like Eric Clapton, you know, John Mayer. I don't get it. It's like all that stuff. It's just it doesn't, you know what I mean? I don't know. Now I have been on a Mark Ronson kick lately.
Well,
That money.
there's that new Mick Ronson.
Mick
There's
Ronson,
that
sorry,
new
not Mark
wah
Ronson.
pedal of his that's out.
I know,
I like to
yeah.
give it. I mean, it's been a long time since I've wanted like a particular wah pedal and cared. You know what I mean? Like,
I kind of want.
but now I'm like, well, dang, I want this wah pedal. Okay, Todd says I get that. Robin never lets go like SRV did. You know, but now, like I said, I've probably gotten more out of Robin's book, that Beyond the Blues book, than I have. from
Homegrown Son said Sean should invite his fanboy idol Eric Clapton to Southern Pines so they can jam together and fulfill his lifelong dream to play on some stages as his idol. Sean, you allergic to mushrooms?
Sean's
no,
nice.
I'm not allergic to mushrooms, and also, no way, dude. Like I've lived through this, not lie, but through this lens for so long. I can't go back. There's no going back. If I meet Eric Clapton, I almost gotta go.
You just gotta punch him and walk away.
Yeah, I
Maybe
gotta
like,
hit him in the
My
mouth.
God, he just hit an 80-year-old man.
What's up, journeyman? Bam! Right upside the head, dude.
Sad.
Whoa.
All right, Daniel's giving me some Robin Ford suggestions.
This has
All right,
gotta stop.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Man, there's all. Let's see. That's funny. Mary Cheese is talking about there's lots of this explaining, but there's a lot of things like that, man. I think the Smokey the Bear thing where he never says only you can prevent forest fires is kind of funny. There's so many Mandela those weird things. I thought the Bear.
That's what he says, right? He says only you can prevent forest fires.
He doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, the hell he does.
That's what they say, Sean.
Only
You and me are on the same page.
I can see the commercial in my head.
Of course you can.
The old
Just
bear.
like I can
mask-
hear Ricky saying, "You got some explaining to do."
Only you.
Like I can visualize it
prevent
on
forest
the thing.
fires.
But whatever. Yeah, the Berenstein versus Berenstain Bears. Because Sean Brooks, I was absolutely sure of which one I've done. Yeah, I just don't know, man. I don't know. It's so strange.
Chad B said you would absolutely play with Eric Clapton
Yeah, you
if
would.
asked. You want to know the truth? You don't know the kind of motherfucker I am, dude. I hate Tom's not here. He would have given me a big old tip for that. if you want to know straight up, no, I wouldn't. I'm like, to the core, I am who I am. Like, I would be like, man, I appreciate it. I got a buddy who would love to play with you. And I'd say, Jonathan needs to play with you. I don't need to.
I would
He
die.
He would.
I would
It
die.
would make his day, and he would appreciate
my
it
life.
10 times more. I appreciate
my
you
life.
asking me, sir. But
Yeah,
and I would
that's
shake his
amazing.
hand, and I would be appreciative. But I would say Jonathan is going to get way more out of this experience than I am.
So people are putting random players in the comments, and I can't decide if it's they love them or it's because they're like, yeah, these are the ones that I don't understand. Like Santana.
Santana?
I let Elijah listen to Smooth the other day, and he said it was the weirdest thing he'd ever heard.
You're so
Like,
smooth.
I mean, I know that's not like classic Santana, but he was into his whole like Rob Thomas, like, you know, I love these Matchbox 20 songs, and I was like, well, check this out, and he was not having it. It was not cool.
He, I mean, it is. Santana's a tricky one because there's a lot of like 3-note songs that he does and stuff like that. It's hard to feel like you're.
Santana is it's such a like, he has a thing that he does.
Yeah.
And once you've heard it, you've kind of heard it. You know what I mean? And it is neat. Like when you hear Black Magic Woman and stuff. But I don't know.
I mean, he's great. Like, he's a good player. Absolutely. Just like Eric Clapton, he's a fine player, but it's all about what your tastes are. Like, to me, I feel like you go see Santana live, you know? Like, I'm not going to be withheld to listening to the albums and being like, oh, man, I'm so glad I heard Black Magic Woman 11 times.
Well, no, that's true for me. Like, but there is, I don't know. There is Clapton stuff, like, to me, that I can still listen to and be like, hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
This has got to stop.
Mayor says Santana live at Woodstock, though. Cheese Pizza says the Spanish leaning songs Supernatural are pretty awesome. They are, I think they are. I did enjoy some of those songs. And I enjoyed Santana sort of in the context of like pop songs, you know. But anyways, I think I'd go see Santana live just for funness. But whatever. What else? Anything else today, boys, or can we wrap it up? Got something? Derek, you got something?
Reading through them, I don't think so.
Nope, I think it's good.
Well,
I think we're at it.
Sean Speed said we have a Mayor McCheese and a cheese pizza on this chat. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Man, thank you guys for hanging out with us. You are kind of all the best. We appreciate all the stuff
It's awesome.
that
It's
you
always,
guys do. Send us stuff. I don't know. You're just awesome.
You guys are the
So,
best, and I appreciate it. And if Tom comes back to see the stream at any point, thank you, Tom, for the $3.35. That's nice.
$3.35.
And
It'd be even
everybody
funny
else,
if they were like pesos or ruples.
yes, for the lunch money and stuff like that, it does
no,
mean a
that's
lot,
awesome, dude.
and we always do
does.
cherish it. And if you ever come to town, come and eat lunch with us. We will
Yeah.
have you for lunch. Don't ever
will.
sweat that.
We will have you for lunch. That sounds sort of diabolical. But anyways, all right, Robin Ford live in the 90s. I'm on it. All right, see you all soon. Hit like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Man, share this thing with your friends so we can get some new subscribers.
Let's make the party just
then
big enough.
you guys will be the cool kids, the OG. I mean, you kind of already are.
Well, I
anyways,
feel
but
like live stream lives in this territory where the
does.
real, like,
it does.
the real people hang. Like, there's a lot of people who go and like watch the videos and stuff, but the real people hang in the live stream. That's my thought, at least. I mean, we know nearly about everybody
and
in the
most
chat.
of you we have seen in person. So, anyways,
It's
all
great.
right. That's
Yeah.
enough of that bullshit. You hit the bell. We'll see you next time.
Bam.